Right. So once again, we are back here to the topology. This is the topology which we use as a base to understand BGP community. This custom community where we add the flag value to the prefix while advertising. We add the flag value. For example, in this topology, R3 was attaching flag value before sending the prefixes, advertising the prefixes to R1 and R2. We had different subnets. Our subnets are like this: 6.6.6.6 and 777. We attach the flag value, and this is the flag value: 100, 400, 100 colon 250. We sent to R1 and R2. The updates are sent already, and on R1 and R2 we have already verified the flag values, this community IDs. When we were sending to R1, we gave that 400 to this network 6.6.6.6 and 250 to 7777. Whereas to router 2, we did the opposite. 7.7.7.7 we gave 100 colon 400. 6.6.6.6 we gave 100 colon 250. Now in ISP, there is no confusion. What ISP will do, if it receives any prefix with 100, 400, ISP is going to apply local preference 400. Which means R1 will apply to 6.6.6.6, R2 will apply to 7.7.7.7. And ISP, what it will do, if it receives 100, 250, it is going to apply LP of local preference of 250. Which means R1 is going to apply 250 to 7.7.7.7. R2 is going to apply the 250 to 6.6.6.6. So 7 is prioritized in router 2. So router 2 becomes the exit when traffic comes from R4. When traffic to 7.7.7 comes from R4, router 2 becomes the exit in AS20. It comes out on router 2 and then comes to router 3. When it comes to 6.6.6.6 from R4, it exits via R1 in AS20, comes to R3. Okay, so we are going to now do the ISP part. Customer part, he tags and he sends. We have already done that in the previous class. If you have forgotten, I have a video in our channel. You need to go through it at least tomorrow. R3 portion is already done, and R1 is receiving prefixes, 2 prefixes from R3 with flags. That we are going to verify once more, and then we will continue the ISP side configuration. Okay, so we'll go back, it's getting booted. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the document. R3 portion we have done already. Now on R1 and R2 are ISP, right? What is needed? What is needed is this one we already did in the previous class on ISP side. New format will give you 16-bit colon 16-bit. And this is what we have to do as a first step. After you say new format, which is done yesterday, today this is the first step we are going to say, community list. And we are going to say list number 1, 100 colon 400. In our case, it's not 300, it is 400. So 100 colon 400 is mapped to the community list 1. It's like an access list. Community list 2, 100 colon 250. This you have to do it on both ISPs, both the routers in the ISP. Next, Both the routers in ISP will have the same configuration. In ISP, there is no change in routers. Policy is same throughout the autonomous system. So, route map pairing with customer, R3 is nothing but customer. It can be any name. If the community 1 is matched, community list 1 is matched, set local preference 400. In our discussion, we want to set local preference 400. You see, we want to set 400. Okay, that's what we are doing here in route map. And if community 2 matches, we are going to set 250. 250. All right. And now, and this is for all the rest of the prefixes without any change. After which, we just go to neighbor and we say whenever we receive updates from neighbor, we want to use the route map. That's all, how easy it is. I'm going to do and show you now. So as I said, we are going to first check R1 and R2 BGP table. Show IP BGP 6.6.6.6/32. You can see here 100, 400 and 7.7.7.7 100, 250. Whereas in the other router, router 2, it is the opposite. Show IP BGP 6.6.6.6, you will have 100:250, whereas 777 will have 400, which is the opposite of router 1. I can compare and show you here. See, router 1 777 has got 100:250, whereas here it has got 100:400. Whereas here above for 6.6.6.6 this has got 100:250. On R1 it is 100:400. Is there any question so far? Is there anywhere you got struck, any doubt? Please ask before we proceed. This is yesterday's work. Any question from anyone? So it's time now to write community list. I told you configuration on R1 and R2 is same. So I'll do on one router, cut and paste it to another router. IPBGP community list. BGP okay, not BGP, IP community list 1. Permit the community value 100:400. IP community list 2, permit 100:250. Now use the route map. Route map. I can say from R3 customer match IP match community community 1 sorry if that matches. See, if you are using any number between 1 to 99 it is standard. If you are using any number between this to this is extended. There is no big differences. Alright. In MPLS we will see extended community. That is automatic actually, we don't configure. It will do automatically. When you don't say extended or standard, it means only both. So where are we? We say set. local preference 400. Next is 20, match community to set local preference to 50. And then we create another route map 30 and exit from here. Next, what we are going to do is we say router BGP 20 and we say neighbor address router 3's address, which is 13 13 13 3. Use the route map from router 3 customer in. Say update is coming inside this router 1 from router 3. So it's in. That's all. Clear IPBGP starts off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and paste few things. Do show history. Not much is shown here, so I'll say show run. First I'll copy and paste the community list from R1 to R2 because it's the same configuration. I don't want to do again. This too I'm going to copy and paste to router 2. After this, I want to copy this route map because that is also same thing, there is no difference. In ISP, we will not be changing on every edge, every router different policy. We'll have global policy throughout the autonomous system. Done. Now I go router BGP now 20 and I say neighbor 23 23 23 3. Use the route map, this one in. That's all. Clear IPBGP star soft. See, we have finished configuring the local preference using BGP community. Now it's time to verify. Show IPBGP. Here you can see it says for 777 Okay, now you see. For 777, you see, it says I myself is the exit. See, 23 23. I'll go straight. 400. Whereas for 6.6.6.6, I think there's some problem with IPGP. Next up, self problem. Okay. Router BGP 20. Hope you remember those fundamentals. Neighbor 10.12.12.1. Next stop self. Very important. And also on router 1. Router BGP 20, neighbor 10.12.12.2. Now the problem is solved. Clear IPBGP star soft. Okay, now you will definitely see what you want to see. Go to R2 and check the BGP table. You will have an IBGP neighbor also. as a gateway. Cool, cool. For 6.6.6.6 it says I will go via my IBGP because R1 is the exit. For 777 I don't need any IBGP, I myself will go directly to my IBGP. Whereas in router 1, show IPBGP, this says for 6.6.6.6 I myself is the exit, whereas for 7 I am not the exit, I'll go via this IBGP. That is what we want to see. Now in the routing table of R1, show IP route BGP, you can see 6.6.6.6, the gateway is 13.13.13.3, which is R3's address, whereas 777 it is R2's address. The routing table here for 6.6.6.6 it is router 1's address. So you see how the community can do along with local preference. Now let us trace route. Oh, router 4 is still not configured. Let us configure first. This is where we are going to test it. Okay, so this two neighbors need to be configured, and then network need to be advertised, which is 4.4.4.4 mask 255. Next is do show IP interface brief. We don't have an address on G01. Forty-two. Okay, we got even BGP. Now I should be learning routes to those 6.6.6.6 and 7.7.7.7. Show IP route BGP. Yes. Okay. Now if you notice here, for both the gateways it is going to router 1. But router 1 is not going to be the exit for 777. Router 1 will forward the packet via G02 to router 2. So that router 2 will become the exit. That you can find by tracing the route. Yeah. Show IP BGP. You can see here, we are learning this from two sources. Oh no. But what it does, it sends only to router 1. Let us do one thing. First ping 6.6.6.6 with source 4444. It is pinging. And I want to show you the route. It should go straight to router 1 and router 1 to router 3. Just 2 hop. I want to show you that. Trace route. I'm expecting now 41, 41, 41, 1. And then 13, 13, 13, 3. Yeah. And then 13, 13, 13, 3, which is the final hop. That is all. Yeah. Now let us try pinging 777. That also we are able to ping. I would like to trace route and show you. This will take 3 hops. you will find, okay, from there it will go to 10, 12, 12, 2. It takes a right turn there. See? Then 23, 23, 23, 3. That's all. I hope you understood the scenario and also how you to use the attributes along with community. Any question?